What's up, nerds? Welcome to Cooking with the Reverend, and today I decided we're going to try a different spin on BLTs. My beautiful wife had the idea of having candied bacon with BLTs, so today we're going to go over how to make candied bacon BLTs. Never had it. We'll see how well they come out. I think it'll be amazing because I love candy, I love bacon, and I love BLTs. Can't lose. And remember, when you're cooking with the Reverend, you always need to have a beer. And today I am drinking, we'll throw this in later, it is called Craft Explorers. Explore, enjoy, collect. It's an Oktoberfest beer, because we're in October, duh. So it's a lager, Marzen type if you will. The Bearded Brewers, look at the shirt if you don't know who they are. We made one of these one time back, turned out pretty good. We called it Marzen the Martian. And cheers, let's see how this comes out. That is a very good beer. I bought that at a Lidl, and I was a little weary on it, but the flavors are coming through. It's got biscuity flavors, it's got some caramel to it, it's got a nice little nutty flavor to it, and the sweetness from the malt. It is a wonderful beer. So now that we got Popeye spinach, let's get to cooking. Check out the ingredients. So, what do we need? Well, for a BLT, not pictured here is lettuce, but you definitely need a tomato, a sharp knife to cut said tomato, a plethora of bacon, about 12 to 14 pieces is recommended. Now, I got this recipe off of Food Network. About a tablespoon or so of butter. Butter. That's not butter, you silly. That's cracked black pepper. Why do we use cracked black pepper? Because it tastes better. But I'm not going to use all of that. And then we have a third cup of brown sugar. We're going to take these two items here, place them in here, and let them set. So something I didn't tell you that is an important ingredient, obviously you want to have some bread. Some people like their bread toasted, some people like their bread plain, some people put a spread on the bread. It rhymes. Do whatever you want. It's your sandwich. Me, I'm just going to use plain old bread. Might toast it a little bit just to help kind of add some texture to it. But that is important. Something else that is very important that you need to do is you need to preheat your oven because you are going to use your oven on this. 325 while you're getting everything else ready to go. The next thing you want to make sure that you do is have some parchment paper and a baking sheet. That way you can put the bacon on the parchment paper while it cooks in the oven. It's safe, it won't catch fire. It's amazing stuff, by the way. And let's get to the rest of this. So what are we going to do? We're going to mash up this, I almost called it bacon, but this is not the bacon, this is the brown sugar. Just kind of break it up a little bit, and then we're just going to toss it in there. Just give it a good toss. And then, as I mentioned, we're not going to use all of this pepper. We're just going to get, just a little bit. Just enough to give it some flavor. So I did 2 pinches. Didn't do a whole lot. And see, I even threw some back. My hands have already been washed and clean. I recommend taking off your jewelry because here's the fun part. You're going to get intimate with this bacon. You're going to just roll it around. You want to try to coat the bacon. It doesn't have to be coated to its entirety. You just want the natural juice from the bacon to latch on to that brown sugar and that pepper. Because what's going to happen next is we're going to go ahead, throw this bacon on that parchment paper, and then we're going to dump the rest of the brown sugar and pepper that's on here onto the bacon. We now have our parchment paper here, and we're just going to go ahead and lay out this bacon. You can curl it, but you want it to try to be a little even if you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to make rings like I do. Now, we don't have a whole lot left, but we're going to go ahead and just scrape it out there anyway. I got most of them on my fingers. And again, my fingers are clean, so what I'm going to do is just this right here. And then we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven, and it's going to sit in the oven for 20 minutes. And in that time, we're going to go ahead and dice our tomato, and then we're going to get our lettuce ready and start prepping our bread. All right. So welcome back, folks. Now it's time to cut this here tomato. Now you want to be careful so you don't cut your thumb. Now I learned this little cutting technique from a chef that we had visit our ship when I was in the Navy. Now why we cut it that way, he never really explained, but I found it to where it kind of takes out that stem right there and makes cutting the rest of the tomato a little bit easier. And what you'd miss though is I took this tomato, see I'm doing it again, you can't see it. And I'm in the sink, I'm dumping it upside down just to help get some of the juices off. Now, why do I do that? Because I don't like a super runny tomato. Now, my knife is sharp, and you see me sawing back and forth, and the reason that I'm doing the sawing is that way I have a little bit more control over the blade. That's just a personal preference. But if you have a sharp knife, you can just slice it however you feel necessary. I like my tomatoes to be as thinly sliced as possible. Nobody, in my opinion, likes a chunky tomato on a BLT because I don't know, I think they're weird to eat a chunky tomato. So as you see, we're kind of starting to run towards the bottom here. Be very careful when you're cutting. You don't want to cut your fingers. And there you go. We now have a sliced tomato or mater if you're in the South. Time to check the bacon. And it is not crispy yet. Not really golden brown. You can see that it's still doing its job. 1, you don't raise the temperature of your oven. 2, you just get some patience. And 3, you add a little bit more time to your timer. I adjusted mine for another 15 minutes. You could go for 10 minutes, you could go for 5 minutes. It all depends on your oven, right? But again, don't raise the temperature. Well, Reverend, if the temperature is higher, doesn't it cook quicker? Yeah, it could. But it can also burn the bacon, and it can also ruin the candy and caramelization process and science and stuff. So just relax, breathe, don't get upset. Now it is time to check the bacon again. Oh, look at that. That is exactly what we want. So let's go ahead and get this out of the oven. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna remove the bacon from the oven. And of course, don't use your bare hands, otherwise you're gonna burn your hand, and nobody wants to burn their hand right before they eat a delicious sandwich. So let's go ahead and get this puppy out of there. Ooh, that's some heat coming out. Ooh, nice, golden brown and crispy. Take a look at the bread, because the bread is the next step, and the bread is what makes all this board doing, all right? So hang on tight. Let's get to it. So for the bread, what I like to do is I take just about a teaspoon of my olive oil here, and then I just pour it inside of a pan that's cooking on low to medium heat. And then, I just swirl it around for a little bit. Don't use your hands, because you can burn your hands. So, you get that nice little toasted, effect on your bread there. You don't want it too toasted. You don't want it too light either. Just a couple minutes on each side is really all you need. And then you just end up with some wonderfully toasted bread like we have here. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the bacon real quick. That is what you want. Now be patient when you take it out and let it rest. It's gonna do its thing, still nice and crisp. All right, so now what we gotta do is just move a few things around so we can get a good shot. There we go, all right. Now, one of my patrons wants mayonnaise on toasted. Again, wanna do too many. 2 should be sufficient. As you can see there, we got 2 and 2. Looks good, right? Yeah, let's get that second one in there. Oh yeah, 2 on 2. Okay, and then the next thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and take some of this bacon here, just nice and juicy, and still very warm. Not so hot. Oh, look at that. Yeah, you see that? That's candied right there, baby. A little bit of grease, but you know what? Grease is what makes things good. They both start with G. You go ahead and throw a little bit of lettuce on there. About 3 pieces of good lettuce. And pickles. Darling, she wants pickles on hers, and there's nothing wrong with that. Experiment, have fun with it. Try something new. Throw some pickles. Who knew? Bam, look at that. That is a delicious looking sandwich. Now my sandwich didn't have any mayonnaise on it, but it does have pickles, because we do things a little weird in our house, and that's okay. That's good beer. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. The peanut gallery already told me the bacon was good, but let's try the sandwich here. Man, that is amazing. The bacon is nice and it's salty, a little bit of cracked pepper on there, and you get that sweetness from the brown sugar, and then of course the grease just makes it so much better. The pickles also help with that overall flavor. If you really want to change up your game on a BLT to add some different flavors to it, I recommend going with the candy bacon way. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun making it. I hope you had fun watching me. Cheers. Like, don't comment, whatever. Thanks so much. Cheers.